Back at it today with another season preview, as today we're going to be looking at the Boston Red Sox. Not much of an intro needed here, let's get right into the video. The Red Sox are coming off a pretty disappointing season last year as they finished 78-84, which was last place in the AL East. Not only did they finish last in their division, but they were also coming off a season in which they won 92 games and were only 2 wins away from the World Series, so expectations were very high and they massively underperformed. And so far this offseason, the Red Sox have been one of baseball's most active teams. They have made a ton of moves. They've picked up players like Kenley Jansen, Masataka Yoshida, Justin Turner, Corey Kluber, Adam Duvall, and Adalberto Mondesi. They've also lost a ton of players in Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, Nate Eovaldi, Rich Hill, Michael Wacha, and Tommy Pham. And in my opinion, the losses definitely outweigh the additions this offseason. Now looking at the Red Sox offensively last year, they weren't too bad as they had a 730 team OPS which ranked 9th and 155 home runs which ranked 20th. And when looking at this year's projected lineup, we have to start with Rafael Devers, who last year hit .295 with 27 home runs and an .879 OPS. Devers may not be the best defensive third baseman, but he is one of the best offensively, and this year I think he's going to have a huge season. They also have a pretty good outfielder in Alex Verdugo, who last year hit .280 to go along with 11 home runs. Justin Turner, who they picked up from the Dodgers this offseason, is expected to play a key role in this offense. Last year with the Dodgers, he hit .278 with 13 home runs and a .788 OPS. They also have a very young and very raw prospect in Tristan Casas, who last year hit .197 with 5 home runs. He wasn't that good, but this year I expect him to be much better considering he's the number 23 prospect in baseball. And we can't forget about Masataka Yoshida, who they picked up from Japan. He's a 29-year-old outfielder who is projected to hit .290 with 12 home runs this year. As for their backstop, it looks like it's going to be manned by Reese McGuire, who last year hit .269 with 3 home runs. They also have a pretty decent middle infielder in Christian Arroyo, who last year hit .286 with 6 home runs and 5 stolen bases. Kike Hernandez is also expected to play a key role in this offense. He might even play shortstop this year, and last year he wasn't that good. He only hit .222 with 6 home runs, but he's been much better prior to last year, so I expect him to have a bounce back campaign. As for some other names who could have an impact on this offense, we have Adalberto Mondesi, Rob Refsnyder, Adam Duvall, Jarren Duran, and Bobby Dahlbeck. I also want to mention one prospect in Ceddanne Rafaela. He's a number 86 prospect in baseball right now. He's an outfielder who, if he does play well this season, could see a call up to the big leagues. So as a whole, this Red Sox offense was alright last year, but with the significant losses of Xander Bogaerts and JD Martinez, as well as Trevor Story, who I didn't even mention, who's going to miss a big chunk of the year, I think they're going to be a little bit worse this year. Now moving on to their pitching, it was pretty bad last season as they had a 4.53 team ERA, which ranked 25th. And this year, after losing some of their most significant names in their starting rotation in Nathan Eovaldi and Michael Wacha, I don't think it's going to get much better. As of right now, it looks like Chris Sale is going to be the Red Sox ace heading into the season. Sale is definitely a talented pitcher, but he hasn't pitched a full season since 2019, where in 147 innings, he posted a 4.4 ERA. They also have Nick Pivetta, who last year in 180 innings posted a 4.56 ERA with 175 strikeouts. As I mentioned earlier, they picked up Corey Kluber from the Tampa Bay Rays, who last year in 164 innings had a 4.34 ERA. Garrett Whitlock, who's been one of the most reliable arms in the bullpen over the past couple years, looks to be transitioning to a starting role this season, as last year in the bullpen he posted a 3.45 ERA with 82 strikeouts. And for the 5th spot in the rotation, it looks like it's sort of up in the air at this point. In my opinion, I think the Red Sox are going to roll with Brayan Bello, who last year in 57 innings had a 4.71 ERA. If Bello doesn't get the nod for the 5th spot in this starting rotation, they have a couple other candidates in James Paxton and Cutter Crawford. Now getting onto their bullpen, it wasn't too much better than their starting rotation, as last year they had a 4.59 bullpen ERA, which ranked 26th. They did, however, pick up Kenley Jansen from the Braves, who last year posted a 3.38 ERA with 41 saves. And they have a couple other reliable arms in this bullpen in Tanner Houck, Chris Martin, and John Schreiber. So similar to their starting rotation, I don't really have too much confidence in this bullpen. Yes, Kenley Jansen is a good pickup, but he is sort of getting up there in age, and last year for the Braves, he was very up and down. So now that we went through this roster top to bottom, let's take a look at the Red Sox outlook record-wise. With my tone throughout this video and the title of the video itself, it goes without being said, but I'm not a huge fan of the Red Sox this year. Not only did they lose a ton of important pieces this offseason, but they also seem to be depending far too heavy on aging players who seem to be injured constantly. I do think this offense could be respectable, but their starting rotation and bullpen, I think there's a legitimate chance that each of them finish in the bottom 5 in the league yet again. As for the win-loss record this year, I think they're going to be right around 70 wins. And with how competitive this division is, I think the Red Sox are going to finish in last place yet again. I hate to be so pessimistic about the Red Sox, especially considering I'm from Massachusetts, so I go to my fair share of Red Sox games and they always seem to be putting out a good team. But this year, I don't think that's going to be the case. Let me know what you guys think of the Red Sox down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.